Hi, Debbie here with a project share. I needed to make a couple of cards for a challenge, so I just wanted to show you what I made for the challenge. Okay, and this is the card that's on the easel over there. The Nouveau drops were still drying, so I have it sitting on that. But let me show you on this one, because this one I can actually touch and not hurt anything. Is I used pattern paper, which you're all familiar with. I made the flowers, and I cut out a die to make the leaves. I will have information on what I used to create this card in the description box below, and also there's a short little tutorial after this on how I put the card together, and I do show you what I used to make the card. And so I will leave links to those channels and those stores in the description box below if you're interested in any of the items that I used. Well, anyway, this is what it looks like. Now, the card needed to have no sentiments on it, and it needed to be blank inside. So, as you can see, there are no sentiments on this, and it is going to be blank inside. And so yeah, so this is what it is. I have my paper. I distressed it. I have a couple layers, and it's up on foam tape. And I cut out some leaves, and I have a butterfly from Renee Boutique, and the little flowers that I made using Lady E's Designs die, and the leaves are a Sizzix die. And here's the Nouveau drops, and they actually worked good for me this time. They stayed on little, balls. Before, when I would do them, they always seemed to have fallen flat, but this time they actually stayed the way they're supposed to. Well, anyway, this is my card, and it turned out so pretty. Let me bring it up a little bit closer so you can see. And so yeah, and of course there's lace in the background. I put a little lace in there, and I put micro beads in the center of the flowers instead of flat back pearls, because these needs to lay flat. And once these are in the envelope, everything will go flat, even though everything looks really dimensional now, but they will go flat. And then when you get the card, you can just poof them up and make them a little bit more dimensional once you get the card. But they will go flat, which is what I was going for. So anyway, this is my card. And I needed to make two, so I made two. And so yeah, I just want to show you. And like I said, there will be a short tutorial. And there'll also be links to the places on the items that I used to create the card. I want to thank you, and I'll be talking to you again soon. Bye. Okay, so these are what I'm going to be using for the card. This is actually the card base, and the cards are to be left blank and nothing on them. And then I have my two pieces of paper that I'm going to be layering on top of that. I have this paper here, and then I have this one that I've distressed using the little distressing tool. And that's going to get layered on top of that. I made a couple of flowers, and they're going to be single layered flowers because this needs to be kept flat, even though I do have them bent and puffed up a little bit. When you put them in the envelope, they will lay flat, and then when you get it, you can just fluff them back up. And I put seed beads in the center as opposed to flat back pearls, because these will lay a little bit flatter than the pearls will. So I did that. So I made me some of those. And the flowers, I used this die here from Lady E Designs, and I used the two smaller ones for that. And then I cut out, and I used the pattern paper to cut out the flowers and these leaves, and I just cut out some different shaped leaves in the paper. And then I I made the leaves more dimensional by squeezing them and things like that. So I did that for the leaves. And for the leaves, I used this little die set from Tim Holtz, and I just used this one. I used this one, and that one. That's what I did there. I've got a little butterfly, and this is from Rene Boutique, and they have tons of beautiful butterflies. I love her butterflies. And then I just have a piece of lace trim from my stash that I'm going to be doing that there. And I'm going to have these up on foam tape, and the foam tape I have is just some foam tape that I got from BB Crafts. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to want to do is take my base piece, and then I'm going to be laying this piece. Okay, I'm going to be off to the side a little bit like that, but I think you can still see what I'm doing. So that will be the first thing that I'm going to do. Yeah. Just put that on like that. And then I'll just set that aside while I'm working on this piece here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my little lace trim. And that's going to go, I have it so that the longest piece that hangs down to the bottom edge of the paper. And I'm just going to put that on with a little Beacon 3-in-1 glue. And I just add a little strip across that part right there. I just need to bring this a little bit closer to me. Then I'll bring that up. And that's where I'm going to go. Right about there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. I think I'm going to cut this, just cut that one little, no, that can hang. That's going to be fine. So there, I have that. And I also already have my dimensional foam tape on the back of this already. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay. Next thing I'm going to want to do, well, the first thing I'm going to do is put this down this way. Really isn't a whole lot of explaining to do here, so it's more or less just watching me put it together, because it's pretty much you can see what I'm doing, so there really isn't, there's no reason for me to sit there and say, well, I'm placing a flower here. Now I don't attach these all the way down, because I kind of like leaving them with a little movement, so I don't glue them flat. So I normally don't do that. One, just gonna stick up here, and I just put a little glue on the bottom. Not a whole lot. Doesn't take a whole lot. See what I mean about how I bent the leaves? I just took my finger and I just squeezed them in a little bit just to give them a little shape. butterfly, and her butterflies are double-sided. And I'm just going to put a little dot right there. I think I'm going to put that here. Okay, that's what we have so far. I've got some Nuvo drops, and I'm going to just put a couple of drops around. So I need to bring my head down a little bit to do this. And I'm just putting them here and there. Okay, so all I need to do now is I just need to let the Nuvo drops, set up, and then I will just attach it to the front of the card like this, and that's what we'll have. So this is how I make my little cards, and I want to thank you for watching, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye for now.